So greetings, everyone. My name is Katie Jansen. I'm one of the enrollment managers here at John Carroll University. I'm going to introduce you all to two of our faculty members that are here with us from the psychology department. Dr. John Yost is the chair of the psychology department, and Dr. Denise Ben-Porath is professor in the psychology department. So both of them will take you through some of the curriculum and a little bit about the department and what makes it unique at John Carroll. So go ahead, John, I'll let you take it away.
Okay, welcome to the John Carroll University Psychology Department Spring Open House.
I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Denise Ben-Porath. I'm a professor in the psychology department.
And I'm John Yost. I'm the chair of the psychology department. I'd like to begin by talking about the core curriculum at John Carroll University. The core curriculum consists of 40 to 49 credit hours, and it ensures that students will develop early in their college career the skills that will be used throughout their coursework, both within their major and in other courses. This provides students with opportunities to see how their knowledge from different disciplines will be helpful in helping them to solve real-world complex problems in the future. The psychology major at John Carroll University is a Bachelor of Science degree. This is an important distinction between Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts. Many universities' psychology programs are Bachelor of Arts degrees, whereas at John Carroll, it's the Bachelor of Science. The reason for that is that there's a focus on research and career development, particularly in terms of the Bachelor of Science. It's really the research aspect of it. All students at psych majors at John Carroll are required to take a professional development in psychology course. This is PS 190. It's a 2-credit hybrid course. Hybrid means that it's conducted partly in the class and partly online. In addition, all students are required to take experimental design and analysis. This is a course where students work in groups, they design their own research project, they collect the data, and they analyze the data as a group, and students write papers as individuals. So therefore, in experimental design and analysis, all students have the experience of conducting a research project from start to finish. Other courses that promote research in the psychology department would be advanced research methods. That's Psych 401. This is a class that usually consists of 12 to 15 students. It's offered once a year. It's not a required course, it's optional. And here, each student conducts an individual research project. After completing advanced research methods, those students who would like to conduct additional research can enroll in independent research, and that's PS 499. This is where a student pairs with a faculty member and they design a research project of mutual choosing, and the student is in charge of, again, conducting the entire project from start to finish as an independent research project. We also offer many research internship opportunities, and we will be discussing those later. Consistent with our focus on research, we encourage our students to participate in conferences. There are undergraduate conference presentations, as well as some of our students have published articles with faculty members in some of the top journals in the field.
Right, and if I can just add one other thing too for people to kind of understand and know the flow. As Dr. Yost was mentioning, the Bachelor's of Science is a really, I think, important unique feature of our department because it provides students with maximum flexibility. So they're able to bridge into that area of the sciences through research. And so the kind of the curriculum that people go through is everyone's required to do that initial research class where they're working in groups, and then they can move on to the larger class. But if you're looking at the last opportunity, which is the independent research, most students do this if they're going to their senior year. And just to give you an example, you know, I've worked with students in my area of research is in eating disorders. So we've taken students and they've collected data in actual residential treatment settings for people with eating disorders, kind of investigating what are the therapy techniques that are most effective to help them through meal exposure. So that's just one example of some of the types of things that students can do when they're working one-on-one with faculty.
So to reiterate, our degree is a Bachelor of Science degree. We also provide our students with academic rigor. Some evidence for this would be that the psychology major field test, this is a test created by ETS, Educational Testing Services. They're the same people who do the SAT and the GRE. They have a major field test in different areas, psychology included. And our students, on average, finish in the 75th to 90th percentile from a nationwide sample. So there are hundreds of colleges and universities that participate in this test. And our students do better than, on average, do better than 75 to 90% of the students who take this exam. The major consists of, at a minimum, 39 credits up to 69 credits, depending on one's concentration. The general psych major is 39 credits. The neuroscience concentration, which we will address later, that requires a total of 69 credits.
Yeah, and I might add too, one of the reasons that that's an increase in such a high number is that's oftentimes the track that students will take if they're interested in med school. So that's incorporating their 2 years of chemistry and their 1 year of biology. So this is all part of that concentration.
Yes, the chemistry requirement in the neuroscience concentration goes through organic chemistry 2. So it begins with Chem 1, Chem 2, Organic Chemistry 1, and Organic Chemistry 2.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up with commitment to teaching, and frankly, I don't think one slide can do this justice in terms of how passionate our faculty are about their commitment to undergraduate teaching. I think one of the primary things that we all strive to do is engage our students. So if as a student you are coming into class and you are bored, then I view that personally that I'm not doing my job. And so what you'll see below are pictures of, and this is only because I'm here speaking today and I created this slide, but this could be any one of our faculty in terms of demonstrating some creative ways that we work with our students to make that classroom experience engaging. So if you look at the bottom left one, this is one of the things that I do in my Intro to Psychology courses at the end of the semester for their final exam. They are doing a treasure hunt at the University of Akron Psychology Museum, which is the only psychology museum in the nation. And we're just fortunate to have it here in our backyard. So this is one of my students laying on Sigmund Freud's actual couch where he did therapy. If you look at the middle picture, you can see this is one of our observation rooms. So this again is a classroom where I have two children who've come in with their parent that are playing. One child is on the spectrum, and so students are using an assessment measure to kind of code and score each kid's behaviors and seeing if they can determine which child is on the spectrum. And then the slide over to the right is, again, in my intro psych course, when we talk about psychobiology and kind of brain chemistry and those neuronal conductions, in order to kind of bring that to life, we actually dissect sheep brains. For those who are able to withstand also the cow eyeball, we dissect that when we talk about sensation and perception. So these are all, I think, just examples from ways that we as faculty are really working hard to engage our students. And I also think it's worth noting and a shout out that we have two of our faculty members, Dr. Tracy Masterson and Emeritus Professor Dr. Jan Larson, who both have won the highest teaching award at John Carroll for their excellence in teaching.
And this would also be a good time to talk about our lab facilities. The psychology department is housed in the Dolan Center for Science and Technology. The whole third floor, one whole wing of the third floor is the psychology department in the Dolan Center. And we have, I would say they're state-of-the-art lab facilities. Dolan is a relatively new building. Our lab facilities were built to our specifications. It includes 20 individual testing rooms, 3 large testing rooms. This would be an example of one. And this actually is a one-way mirror, so the people on the other side cannot see the people who are observing them.
Okay, so picking up with professional development, one of what we've recently begun doing at in our department is requiring a professional development course. It's 2 credit hours, so it's not a full 3 credit hours, but we really view it as a very important class. This is the course that moves people on the path toward figuring out what precisely they want to do with their degree in psychology and how to go about doing that. So this course will focus on all the possible degrees, things that you can do with a bachelor's in psychology. It also will focus on what you can do with a master's and a doctorate in psychology and what those programs are and how you go about getting into those programs. Also, some basic skills that you need no matter what career path: interviewing skills, how to negotiate your salary, writing a cover letter, making a resume, all of these things that are just kind of those skills that everyone needs as they're leaving their undergraduate institution. For those who will go on and take things like the MCAT for medical school, or the GRE for graduate school, or even the LSAT for law school, we have several students who use their psychology degree and then parlay that into a law degree. There's those standardized tests, which are important in knowing how to take those and the strategies involved with that. And then also discussion around federal loan repayment programs. So one example of that might be if individuals work, I believe it's for 2 or 3 years in a setting where it's with low income individuals and they have their bachelor's degree and now their master's in counseling psychology, there is a federal repayment or forgiveness loan option. So things like this are discussed for our students.
And this is just, we have 5 bullet points here. We just took a sample of the topics covered. Another topic that students might find interesting is managing your online persona. That is important in professional development because online activities leave a record. And someone who is 18 or 17 years old might not think about what are the ramifications of posting something, but maybe 5-10 years later, that could come back to haunt them.
Okay, so talking and moving on to student advising. Most pre-majors are assigned to a psychology faculty advisor, and this generally happens in the orientation session. So if you indicate an interest in psychology, the goal is to assign you to one of us because we like to meet with you early on to help kind of shape your career focus. All majors, all individuals who are majoring in psychology will have a psychology faculty advisor. So once the major is declared, you move over to a psychology faculty if you were not previously assigned one.
And it's important to note that at many universities, advising is done by a professional advising staff. At John Carroll, the faculty feel it's important to be the advisors for the students. And a major reason for that is that the faculty are the ones who create the curriculum. Therefore, we know the curriculum the best, and we are, the best people to give advice concerning the curriculum to students. The other reason that faculty enjoy advising is it really does give us an opportunity to get to know students on an individual basis, to know, some background information on them, as well as what their career goals are and whatnot. And so this allows us to, give the best possible advice possible. The psychology department has a number of different concentrations. We've already mentioned the neuroscience concentration. This is an interdisciplinary concentration between psychology, biology, and chemistry. This is the concentration that requires a total of 69 credits to complete. In terms of other concentrations within the department, about half of the psychology majors are in a specific concentration, and about the other half are general psych majors. The general psych concentration allows students the most flexibility in the sense that they can, as long as they meet our minimal requirements, they can take whatever courses they want. This ends up being a total of 39 credits. We also have the child and family studies concentration, forensic concentration, industrial organizational concentration, and the mental health services concentration. One advantage of the concentrations is that the concentrations identify all the courses that are within the department, and in some other departments also, courses on campus in general that are relevant to a particular field of study. So for example, child and family studies also includes some courses from sociology. Industrial organizational concentration includes some courses from the Boler School of Business. In terms of psych minors, we have 3 separate minors. They are 18 credits each. General psychology is the most popular of the minors. We also have a forensic psychology minor and the psychology of human diversity minor.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking in the next several slides about our internships, opportunities that we have for early admission into some programs or condensed admission, and also additional experiences that we offer here in the Department of Psychology. So the first part I'd like to talk about is the streamlined graduate admission. So we have several opportunities here. One is a 3-2 program with Case Western, where it's a master's in social work. So you do the first 3 years at John Carroll and the last 2 at Case Western. So you're saving yourself an additional year by doing that program. There's also a 5th-year MBA program that we partner with the John Carroll School of Boler Business School. And so that also can streamline people if they're taking the course credits and things, and particularly in the IO concentration, to be able to move themselves into an MBA fairly readily. And then there's an accelerated admissions into the John Carroll Clinical Mental Health Counseling Program. So what this means is if a student has a 3.3 GPA or higher, they are automatically admitted into the Clinical Mental Health Counseling Program at John Carroll University. So that provides them, they're able to forego the application fee, and also certainly letters of recommendation and other aspects that might be more challenging if they're going into other programs. We're also currently in the process of working on a 3-2 program in this same clinical mental health counseling. So that would mean that undergraduates would complete 3 years and then do their last 2 in the clinical mental health counseling. And so that would again save them that additional year of schooling.
And I'd like to add, saving that additional year of schooling saves an additional year of graduate tuition.
Yes, yeah, excellent, right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have several internship opportunities, and these are just a few that I've kind of plucked out that I'll talk about, kind of highlight a few of these as well. With each concentration, we try to tailor the internship opportunities in that way. So the mental health services internships are, and individuals who do the mental health services concentration are those who are interested in really providing therapy. And we tend to think of them also as more likely to be people interested in working with adults, because we do have the child and family studies track as well. So for example, Belfair JCB, we place individuals, and this is literally around the corner from John Carroll. So we have students who can walk there. Um, Belfair JCB has a unit in which they're working with individuals who are adults with autism. So this is a really growing need. That's a niche in this area at John Carroll and as well as Northeast Ohio. So the Cleveland Clinic, we place someone every year there, typically for a year-long, 2 semesters internship in the neuropsychology department. So there they're doing administering tests, getting very familiar with psychological assessment in areas like dementia and brain injury, brain trauma, concussions, and so forth. The other 2, Kingdom Developers, Counseling and Consulting, Anchor Counseling Services. These are, I think, really unique opportunities because they are private practice settings. So many of our students are interested in going out and becoming private practitioners. And so this gives them the opportunity to sit in and even actually co-facilitate some groups, help develop group curriculum for clients, and even see the business side and aspect of private practice. And then the last is a more recent internship called Magnolia Clubhouse. And this is housed over in University Circle. And this is a really, excellent program that works with those who have severe mental illness. So if individuals are interested in getting exposure to people who have diagnoses like schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, this is one of the more popular places that people are placed at. Okay, so when we look at the child and family studies concentration, the internships that go along with that are, as you might think, ones in which people are working directly with children and their families. So just as an example, the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital has a pediatric pain rehabilitation program, which is interesting. You wouldn't think of pain as being related to psychology, but these are kids who come in who have kind of undifferentiated pain. So they have a lot of global symptomatic complaints. And it's so debilitating that these are kids who have left school or not able to attend. So they come into this 2-week program where they're really working on the psychological aspect of their chronic pain conditions. And we have the adoption network. So again, this is giving people a good focus or a good direction on what it looks like in kind of a social work aspect of working and networking with families who are adopting. And then Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, one of our faculty has been working in this area for probably decades with University Hospital, where our students are going in and doing internships with hospitalized children. Okay, and then several other internship experiences are in the area of autism, and I think this is worth spending a few minutes on. So John Carroll University is really becoming a really niche area where I think autism is going to be a central focus. So if you have someone who's interested in this area, I really do think we are the place to come to. We recently have a new hire. His name is Dr. Tom Frazier. He is a clinical psychologist as well. And what makes him special is he is a JCU alum who wanted to come back, but he also spent several years working in the private sector. So he has been the chief science officer for the past several years at Autism Speaks and has come back to John Carroll, and with him he brings all of that expertise and knowledge. And so we're working on developing what's called an ABA program, where individuals will be able to work with individuals with autism and be using the behavior modification that helps these people in areas of occupational therapy all the way to speech therapy and so forth, and socialization. But our internships are, vast and many. These are just some of them. So we have the Monarch Center for Autism, Garrity Autism Unit, Julie Billiard School, the Cleveland Clinic Center for Autism. As I mentioned before, Dr. Tom Frazier is now with us, and prior to being the Chief Science Officer of Autism Speaks, the National Organization for Autism Advocacy, he was the clinical director at the Cleveland Clinic for autism. We also, Milestones Autism Resources, Metro Health, Building Behaviors Autism Center, STEPS, KidsLink, the list goes on. I think what's important to note here is that this is a really burgeoning area, and it's a very marketable area for students who are coming out of their undergraduate. We have just started training for people who can become what are called RBTs. These are registered behavioral technicians, and these are throughout your undergrad. Once you complete the required coursework, you can actually work in the homes, work in centers, and we have several students who are doing that now, and the pay ranges from around $15 to upwards of $20 an hour. So that is for people who don't even yet have a bachelor's degree. They can earn that while they're here at John Carroll. So lots of exciting things happening in this area.
Other internships are available in the area of industrial organizational psychology. Recent placements of our students include the Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities, Parker Hannafin, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the John Carroll University Human Resources Department. And in the past, we have placed students in the NASA's Glenn Research Center, which is in the Cleveland area.
One of the things to back up and just maybe highlight, because not everyone may know what industrial organizational psychology is, but I like to think of it as the interface between business and psychology. So if you're a student who is maybe straddling those two areas, and we see a lot of that where people are interested in business, but yet they also have a pull towards psychology, this is a really great concentration, a way to blend both of those and be out in the workforce where you're using your psychological skills and applying those to business settings.
In the forensic psychology area, oops, sorry about that. In the forensic psychology area, we have placed students in Foundation of Hope Aftercare, Summit County Juvenile Court, Forum, Ohio, and the Lake County's Prosecutor's Office Victims Assistance Program. Again, this is just a sampling of some of the internship placements. The list is an ever-evolving list. Some of the placement centers are kind of old stalwarts in the sense that our students have been going there for over a decade. Other times, a place might contact one of our faculty members and to see if we have students interested in internships. Other times, students will find these on their own, and with the appropriate coordination, it can become a viable internship site. We offer students many opportunities for student research. We've discussed the experimental design and analysis, Psych 301. That is a required research methods class. However, for students who wish to gain research experience prior to taking the required experimental design and analysis class, they can enroll in PS 299, which is research experience in psychology. So basically, what they sign up for is a course where they work with a faculty member on the faculty member's research project throughout the course of the semester. And depending upon what they do, this is one of the pathways to publication with a faculty member. All students are required to take experimental design and analysis. This is a 4-credit class that includes a research lab. And then after that, if students are still interested in research, and many students discover, they, after taking experimental design and analysis, they actually love the research process. And so they can then enroll in advanced research methods. That is a course that I've been teaching for the last 15 or so years. And again, that consists of 12 to 15 students. Each student is conducting an individual research project. And then for students who want to go on to more advanced research, they can pair up with a faculty member on a mutually agreed topic and conduct a semester-long research project under PS 499.
If I can interject a little bit here and also highlight that what I think is unique about our department is whatever students are interested in, we almost always have a faculty person who is skilled in that area. I think many students come to the area of psychology interested in the mental health aspect, interested in the clinical or applied areas of that. And we're very fortunate, 4 of our faculty are actually clinical psychologists who are also practicing psychologists. So that leaves us with lots of ideas about how to conduct research in these applied clinical settings as well. So I think that's a benefit of our faculty.
And then we also have some, there are many different funded research internships, including the Cleveland Clinic. And then there is also a summer undergraduate research program on campus. In general, we are fortunate to be in the eastern suburbs of Cleveland. The Cleveland Clinic is, only about the main campus of the Cleveland Clinic is 15, 20 minutes away, depending on traffic. It is close, and to be honest, they really like our students. They feel like our students have been educated well. The students who are doing internships at the clinic have completed our experimental design and analysis class, and the clinic has told us that they are impressed with the research skills that our students come to them with. The Cleveland Clinic is as you all know, is a world-renowned, highly respected, and a very large hospital organization. So there are many different types of internships available at the clinic. We also encourage our students to present their research at conferences. Celebration of Scholarship is a campus-wide academic conference located right on John Carroll's campus. It's for the John Carroll community. The Ohio Undergraduate Research Psychology Research Conference. This was created by Dr. Jan Larson over 25 years ago and has been held every year, except for, unfortunately, this year. But the venue changes from year to year. There's a number of schools who are a member of the OUPRC consortium, and they contribute funds to help the conference go. And the conference moves around the state of Ohio. It comes back to John Carroll every 4 or 5 years. But regardless of where the conference is being held, we encourage our students to present there. The Midwestern Psychological Association. This takes place every year in Chicago, and we do have some funding that fully funds all students' trips to that conference. And as we've mentioned several times, students are encouraged to participate in research, and faculty do support students in research. But the important thing is that it's a symbiotic relationship because not only are the students learning valuable skills, they are also contributing to the faculty's research. Here is a recent publication. Meg Whitman, she graduated last year from John Carroll. She's currently in a doctoral program at Kent State University. and her faculty advisor at John Carroll was Anthony Terascavage. We affectionately call him Dr. T. So if you see any references in our on our website to Dr. T, you know who that is. Dr. Terascavage has published several articles with students over the last couple years. And then one of the things we pride ourselves most with is the student and faculty connection. Here's a picture of Dr. Ben Porath with, I believe, is this the Psychi?
Yes, this is our Psychi party.
In general, and one of the things I enjoy about working in the psychology department at John Carroll is my colleagues. My colleagues, they truly, they've chosen to work at a place like John Carroll University. Research is important, but the priority is on teaching. You know, the faculty who chose to come to John Carroll chose John Carroll because they love teaching, they love connecting with students. Well, thank you for listening and viewing our slideshow. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us. Our email addresses are presented. And then also, we will be available for questions on April 18th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you both Dr. Yost and Dr. Ben Porath for joining us. Students, as they mentioned, they're both available by these emails, but you are also able to contact your enrollment manager with any other questions, perhaps outside of the academic realm. And of course, whenever you are ready to make your deposit for the class of 2024, please visit your JCU gateway at go.jcu.edu/status. That's all. Take care.